Hey everybody, I'm here on the D&L Trail in Easton at Hugh Moore Park. It's part of the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor, a 165 plus mile stretch connecting history, nature, and community from Wilkes-Barre to Bristol. Today we're going to learn how the Trails Towns Initiative and the Trail Friendly Business Program are helping local communities thrive by linking outdoor recreation with local economies, tourism, and small business growth. We'll talk with some people behind the D&L about how the incredible regional network connects our past to our future. A lot of stuff going on here today, actually. So stick around me. We're going to go find some people to talk to, and here we go.
My name's Tony Pierucci. I'm the Executive Director of the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor, and we're here at Hugh Moore Park at the National Canal Museum. I think what really makes the trail so unique is what makes the corridor unique. So the corridor is a National Heritage Area, which is a congressionally designated area for not only local and regional significance, but also for national significance. And so what makes the trail so unique is that it follows the historic transportation routes of the canals and the railway lines, and it tells a story that's not only important for our local history, but for our national stories of the Industrial Revolution in America, the production of steel that really fueled the growth and development of America as we know it today. Studies have shown that access to trails in the outdoors improves the quality of life of folks. And so that's a very easy way of doing that kind of like one-to-one comparison of how important it is to folks' lives. But another way that the trail and really the corridor improves people's lives is through what I call quality of place. And what I mean by that is sort of an amorphous definition that includes such diverse things as like crime rates, quality of schools, access to amenities, but also like access to the outdoors. And I think that what we have here in the National Corridor are stories and things that can connect people to the past in a way that makes them feel pride in where they live in today. I mean, the industrial history of our area speaks to a level of ingenuity and perseverance that I think could really be a hallmark for how we can move forward as a society. You know, we are a organization that we convene and connect folks. We don't own a single mile of trail, which I think is really important to keep in mind. And so we actually partner with over 30 different landowners along the 150 miles that exist currently. And we provide oversight, we provide continuity of language on signage and things like that. But it really is about partnerships and our ability to work with people in organizations as diverse as the city of Allentown and a random landowner up in Whitehaven, right? And I really think that there are so many different interesting things to see along the trail that having an organization like us where we're kind of gathering all that information and allowing folks to come together and see it as a whole, I think is really unique and important.
My name's Tiffany Serra. I'm the Trails and Conservation Coordinator here, and for my job, I'm in charge of the volunteer programs. I also do a lot of our public outreach, so if people have questions about the trail, they want to plan a trip, I do all of that and I help them out. And I'm also the program coordinator for our Get Your Tail on the Trail program, which is a program to get people outside and active.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Tail on the Trail program.
Yeah, so it's a program that's sponsored by St. Luke's University Health Network, and we've got a website. People can log their miles and they earn badges, so it kind of gamifies things. And we have 2 annual challenges where they log a certain amount of miles within a certain time frame, and then we send them a prize. Yeah, so currently we have 140 miles of open trail. So the D&L Trail is made up of canal towpath, which is on one side of the river, and then rail bed, which is on the other. This opens up the opportunity for us to have spur trails that brings our mileage count up to 150. So when the D&L Trail is complete, it'll be 165 miles, taking us from Bristol all the way up to Wilkes-Barre. We currently have a major trail gap in the middle of that, which is our Lehigh Valley Gap. It's about 7 miles from mile marker 176 to 83. And there's 2 phases to that we can break it down into. So phase 1 is going to be connecting that section, which will make a trip from mile marker 0 to 140 continuous. And then the second phase is actually going to be creating a loop trail on both sides of the Lehigh River.
That Lehigh Gap, where is that's not the Hellertown Gap?
No, it goes from Catasauqua through Allentown up,
okay.
yep, through there, and then there is a second major trail gap, but it's up in Luzerne County. It takes you from mile marker 140 to 165, so it's that entire northern section, but that doesn't have a completion date until 2036, and the Lehigh Valley Gap has a 2027.
Volunteers are such a key part of this effort. What are some of the ways people can volunteer?
So yeah, we have two major trail programs. The first one is our Trail Patrol program. So that can be participated in formally or informally. To participate informally, you essentially just make a post on social media and you tag us, or you can reach out to us directly if you find something worth reporting, like there's a downed tree or there's a washout on the trail, you can do that. To participate formally, you go to one of our two annual volunteer training sessions. So they get a little more information on the background of our organization. They get a vest, they get a first aid kit, and they get brochures to help people out on the trail. And then the second program is our Trail Tender program. And there's a couple of legs under the Trail Tender program. The first one is our public Trail Tender events, which are hosted by us, and we coordinate that with our landowners. And we go out there and we provide all of the tools needed to make the event successful. And folks can sign up, and we host them once a month between April and October. The second leg under that is our private Trail Tender events, where organizations come to me and they ask us about hosting a cleanup along the trail. We allow them to borrow all of our supplies. We connect them with the landowner, and then they coordinate a day, time, and for the landowner to come out and pick up that trash. But we don't have a staff member there. So for the private Trail Tender events, they submit a reporting form. It's very simple. We just ask how many miles they cleaned, how many trash bags they removed. And then we have a third leg under the Trail Tender program, which is our most involved volunteer program. It's called Adopt a Section, and people can participate solo or in groups. And they attend that same training that I mentioned earlier, and they have to recertify every 2 years, but we give them all of the tools that they need. And they also get a direct contact with the landowner, so they can make direct reports, contact them directly, and they are required to submit a report once a month between April and November. And then for winter months, we don't ask that they go out there, but they can if they would like. For if there's something out on the trail, usually they let us know, and then we let the landowner know. If it's just a regular trail user, that's what they would do. If they're an adopter, they're able to reach out to the landowner directly and get it taken care of. So they don't have to go through that extra step of reaching out to us, but they can, and that's usually what happens.
In general, in your personal life, what do people tell you about their love for the trail?
They love that it goes through a diverse array of environments. So we parallel state game lands. We run through multiple different state parks, state forest lands, and then we also run directly through small communities and larger cities as well. So people love the diversity, and they love being able to also use a trail for a purpose, not just for recreation. They like going out on the trail and being able to do their shopping, going out at restaurants and things like that.
Commuting to work?
Yeah, they're able. I have many people who do commute to work on the trail, and they really appreciate that. Safety's up to your own perception. So one part of the trail that I might find completely safe, someone else might feel is uncomfortable by. So we just want to make sure that people know that there are people out there on the trail using the trail. There are animals out there. There's plants. We have poison ivy along the trail. There's ticks as well. So we want to make sure that people are just aware of what's out there, and also aware about what their own limits are in terms of outdoor recreation before they go out there. And then the second big thing is know before you go. So we update our interactive map with any trail closures. And these trail closures can appear at any moment. So they could appear while you're in the middle of a 3-day ride. So we really encourage people to check before they go out on the trail, and also while they're on the trail. And then I guess a second part to that is if there is a trail closure, we do have detours, but we don't publicly share those detours due to concerns about recommending people get out on a road that they might not be familiar with. So to to find a route around a detour, or around a closure, I mean, they would need to reach out to us directly, and then I could work with them about finding a route that they're comfortable with.
But the main thing I'm hearing here is head to the website.
Yep.
Like before you head out, you can check everything there, and if you have questions, you can reach out to me.
Yep.
My name is Martha Capwell Fox, and I am the historian for the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor and the National Canal Museum. And so I think I have the best job in the place because I get to do a lot of research and I write social media posts and other informational things about our history. I am the author of the industrial history of the corridor, the book that's called Geography, Geology, and Genius. And I also get to interact with a lot of people who come in to do research in our library and archives, and also I am occasionally on the boat. The canals in this region are incredibly important to the beginnings of industry in the United States, because the canals were what made it possible to move anthracite coal from up in the coal regions and take it down to, first of all, Philadelphia, which in those days was the largest city in North America. And eventually this led to being able to smelt iron in this country for the first time using anthracite coal. And this revolutionized, literally revolutionized, industry in the United States, because with anthracite coal in an iron furnace, you could make iron much better, much faster, and in greater quantities than you could in the old style charcoal furnaces.
For someone coming into the canal boat or the museum for the first time, really just face it all, what are some things that they should definitely not miss?
Well, it's not very big, so you can actually see almost all of it in probably an hour and a half. I can say some of our most popular parts of our exhibit, particularly for children, there's an awful lot of spaces where children and their parents or grandparents can interact with them, which is the whole idea here, is that it's very family friendly. Harnessing the mule is a very popular stop. And that's really cool because in the canal era, in the 19th century, children in many, many cases were the ones who were totally responsible for taking care of the mules. So it's really nifty that we can do at least part of teaching the kids the sort of jobs that people their own age did. Makes it a lot more relatable to a lot of history. You know, the thing is that Eastern Pennsylvania, which the 5 counties of the corridor comprise the route that moved anthracite coal from the mines to the market, and then was the site of the industries and the transportation networks that all grew up here, pretty much first in the country here. And so we've got this foundation here of history from the 19th century. It actually still continues today. I mean, it's really interesting. People talk about, oh, well, Bethlehem Steel is gone. But so many other industries have survived or have grown up in their wake. And so we've got this almost unbroken, history of progress here. And the fact is that when you take the trail, first of all, you are actually walking on either the towpath that those kids trod on and those mules pull in those canal boats, or if you're on part of the rail trail part, you're still on the same transportation route, the one that the trains went over. And so you're walking on history as far as that goes, and you're walking through places that were developed either sooner or later because that transportation network was there. We are still the National Canal Museum, and when people come in here and they find out that what we've got actually is not just canal-related things, but the things that grew out of the fact that the canals triggered the American Industrial Revolution. For instance, over there in the back corner, we have an early 20th century steam electric generator that came out of a factory in Allentown. It still goes around. It doesn't generate electricity anymore. And we have, quite a bit of things that are more related to industry later on than just exclusively to the canals. One of the other things that surprises a lot of people is the subjects, which change every year, of what we exhibit in what we call our changing gallery. It's the one part of the museum that is easily adaptable to a single topic, and it lets us draw all sorts of wonderful stuff from our collection that most people don't think we have. Currently, what is on exhibit is part of the collection of formal photographic portraits that belonged to Charles Schwab, who was the man who made Bethlehem steel into Bethlehem steel. And they are autographed, and they were inscribed to Schwab. It was something that men at that time and in that class of business and wealthy people and politicians did frequently. In this exhibit, we have an autographed portrait of Winston Churchill when he was a young man, of Lloyd George, who was Prime Minister of Britain during World War I, of Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford, which no idea how they and Schwab met, of famous people, very wealthy people, Sir Thomas Lipton, the yacht racer and the man who brought tea to America again. And almost every one of our recent exhibits has been, although drawn from our collections, just a little bit out of the ordinary of what people might expect to see when they come into the Canal Museum.
Alice Wanamaker, and I'm Economic Development Manager with the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor. I oversee a lot of our awesome programs on the trail, including our trail towns, trail-friendly business, our event and amenity funding, as well as our visually speaking, which is our signage program. Being a trail-friendly business is a state of mind and a state of being for those that manage and oversee businesses within a mile of the D&L Trail. It really is just welcoming the trail users off the trail and into their businesses, whether they've got some muddy shoes or have spent a day sweating out on the trail. It's really, again, that state of mind of saying, hey, you're welcome in here. We've got some great things for you to enjoy, whether it's filling your water bottle for free, allowing you to hop on our free Wi-Fi, use our public restrooms, or a little more complicated things like helping you fill your tires with air or handing you a screwdriver to help with the simple bike repairs. So those really are the things that make businesses trail friendly. And again, it's that frontline staffing that's educated and welcoming. If someone is new to town and they're looking for other things to do while they're here, or if they're a resident and they're looking for ways to access the trail and ways to enjoy not just our land trail, but our water trails as well. There's so many things that make a business trail friendly. Communities that do it well are all of them along the D&L Trail. We love, going into Renee's up in Whitehaven. They've got our full display of map brochures on hand. They're ready to talk about the fact that they are on Main Street, and Main Street is the D&L Trail in Whitehaven, and help folks get to some of the under-enjoyed sections of the D&L Trail. They can start in Whitehaven, head south to Jim Thorpe without having to endure the traffic, or enjoy the Black Diamond section of the D&L Trail. The Trail Towns program is the overarching program where the Trail Friendly Business program lives. So our goal is to connect the communities along the D&L Trail through the Trails Town program. And that means the communities have something in common. They're offering events. They've got places for folks to stay, places for folks to eat, refuel if they're looking at those long distance trips. And the other thing that trail towns do and how they connect with the trail users themselves is they're saying we're going to be safe. We're going to provide safe crossing of our major highways. We're going to put signage up to help you get around. So it's that connecting piece. So whether it's a resident that's using the trail, again, helping them find the trail safely, or if it's a trail user that's come from a few communities away, helping them enjoy the town. So business owners that are interested in becoming trail-friendly businesses, they can start on our website, delawareandlehigh.org. And on the left-hand side, scroll down to our trail-friendly business page, find more information there. They can also reach out to me, Economic Development, at delawareandlehigh.org, or find us on social media, Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor. We're constantly posting about our trail-friendly businesses, and there's more information available on our Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
It's got to be really exciting for you guys right now, just because of all of these different things that are in the works to be completed, and then what that opens up even I'm just thinking going into Hellertown from Bethlehem for myself personally, like it changes the things that we can do as a family.
Yeah, the staff here and the volunteers and everyone, our board of directors is very excited to see those trail gaps close because, we want those families out on the trail. We want those long distance trail users, whether they're biking 3 days or hiking 7, connecting from New Hope up to Wilkes-Barre. We want to see that happen. So we are just as excited. If we could move, at the speed of light, we certainly would. And, to have folks like the Outdoor Business Alliance from the state of Pennsylvania coming behind us, to have the Office of Outdoor Recreation behind things that we're doing here at the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor is very exciting.
It's interesting that these canals built our area. They are really instrumental, if not one of the most instrumental things. And now they're going to maybe build our area going forward by providing more incentive for people to move here because they know they can travel this way. This is getting more popular over and over. So I got a waxing poetic, but it's just kind of neat.
It's why economic development is such a huge part of our organization. It's seeing that revitalization, something that fueled, our entire country long ago, but also was the decline of some of these communities. Now we're part of revitalizing it and bringing it back to life with the trail running through, new businesses opening up along the corridor, seeing new excitement and different ways to utilize the history that built this country. That's really what the organization is about. Sure, so what we have here is our visually speaking signage program. It really is history and telling a story through signage along the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor and the D&L Trail. So each bit and each mile of the D&L Trail has a story to tell. And of course, we can't be there every day to tell it, so we let the signage do the storytelling for us. So as you're out exploring the corridor and the D&L Trail, take a look at some of the signage that's out there telling you the history behind the location where you are. Whether it's a short commute or mine to market or coal for cabbage, there's a lot of signs out there that'll help you understand the connection between the history of the trail and the current aspect of the trail and perhaps where we're going in the future.
We're continuing to be dedicated towards completing the trail. We have currently 15 active trail projects that we're involved in that run from planning and acquisition to design to actual construction. And so we're really dedicated to seeing the full 165 miles complete, and we're actively working on that with over $3 million in state and federal funds that are dedicated to that work. And so that's a really cool thing to keep in mind, that this is a project that is that's not stalled or not going forward. It is actively improving and expanding, and we're dedicated to seeing the project complete, hopefully sometime soon. Well, that's the beauty of the trail, is that you go onto our website, find the local trailhead near you, and then just hop on the trail. I mean, you could plan out your trip on our website. We have an interactive map that shows different trailheads, what amenities are located there. It also shows what sections of the trail might be down at any moment. So go onto our website and take a look at that interactive map, and you can just plan out your trip. I mean, that's the beauty. You can start anywhere along the 150 miles. There's no sort of beginning, middle, and end. I mean, it's all available for you.
Man, I love the D&L Trail. It's sometimes one of those things that you either overlook or take for granted, but the fact that you can get out here on the trail and, go from theoretically Allentown to Easton or whatever, Wilkes-Barre to Bristol, once those gaps in it are completed, I don't know, man. So thank you for coming with me today. We learned a lot. Check out their website, check their social media, but more importantly, get out on the trail. That's the most important thing. Go enjoy it, share it with your friends.